Welcome back to Football Fun Dates. It's the last game week of the season. What a bumpy ride we've all had, right? Last few weeks, especially for me, sliding out of pretty much a top 2K just towards the edge of the top 10K at 9.8 right now. Lucky with injuries, one or two calls not working out, but overall a very good game week 37 for most managers, right? A few blanks in there for the captains, obviously. Bruno turning out to be the better of with just a 4 point there. Who knew that would be? That's how the season has been, right? The bar was set so low for a good captaincy, but this week in itself, things seem a little easier. But what we'll do in this episode is we'll take you through for the fixtures first, the fixtures you should be targeting. Yes, hits could be justified if you're trying to make a run at in a mini league or in general you want to finish off in a good rank. A good hit is justified this week. -4 for players, especially you think could very well play less minutes if not benched and not having backup on your bench currently. All of that will be justified, right? So we'll take you through the players you should look at through what fixture, and we'll also do our usual team reveal slash transfers that I could possibly make for the final game week. So I'm going to quickly start off with the fixtures now. Before I do that, do not forget to hit subscribe so we can continue this journey next season. We'll be doing a lot more Premier League videos, UCL videos during the break, and hopefully back to FPL before the next season starts, right? So leave a like on this video as well. Right. So right off the bat, clearly we know the few fixtures that are worth targeting. Liverpool, Palace, Benteke doubtful, no Eze in there as well. The attacking threat, the minimal threat that they've had, going at getting the solitary goal like they did even against Arsenal before slipping up, is increasing or boosting the chances of Liverpool clean sheet, right? Which is why a double up is a lot of managers are considering there. Not the worst thing. If you're scared about doing a Robo and Trent double up, you can go in for Phillips as well, value for money, right? And that could save you that -4 to boost up your midfield or your striking force, especially for the managers who want to go for Aguero, which I was really considering, but looking at the way Pep's spoken about his injuries, I would say maybe possibly clear of that one. Leeds, West Brom, though, is obviously a standout fixture, right? A triple up on Leeds kind of makes sense for me over there. West Brom possibly missing out on Pereira, a big one again in itself. Looking at the way he was the fool, he's so important to the attacking threat, right? You saw that against West Ham as well. Outside of that, the teams I would look, the fixture I would go for, possibly consider Fulham, Newcastle. A lot of managers talking about, right? Look, Fulham don't look too good versus Newcastle, where Willock, okay, I didn't go for Willock last week, but Willock seemed to have finally worked out keeping that scoring run going on, right? You could go in, like I said, for Willock there for a punt, but I'm looking at, if you're looking at that kind of punt, I think it would be safer for managers to look at possibly the likes of Southampton and West Ham, right? If you don't have Lingard, I think Lingard and Antonio double up there would possibly be a better chance of kind of punting on Willock, especially if you're taking a hit, that is, right? Not if you just have one free transfer, very good squad, and you just want to mess around a bit and try to seal off a very good season, what's been one for you, hopefully. Fixtures to avoid: Wolves, Man United has just this feeling of a nil all or a 1-0 to Wolves with United assets. Ole most likely might go in for a foolish strength squad with a few youngsters getting more minutes than the others. I do still expect a few players to miss out. Maybe Shaw, Bruno is just it's a tough one, right? If you have him, hold on to him, go in for a bench player to come on in case he doesn't play. There's a good chance he plays Bruno at least maybe one half or gets him on in case he needs him to. Because Ole constantly keeps talking about how he likes to have the players fresh and ticking. So that is a bit of an indication that he might risk starting Bruno, although maybe if finally look at the injuries we've had to Maguire and go on the side of caution there, right? Um, Apart from that, Arsenal assets, right? You could possibly punt on the likes of budget options. There are the likes of Oba you could talk about. Budget options the like of Smith Rowe you could talk about, Odegaard or Martinelli. But we'll go more into the exact players once I open up my team now. All right, so that's pretty much what my team looks like. I think I have a full playing 11. Hopefully, no surprises over here. Mendy in goal, Trent Alexander, obviously TA there for me. Godfrey has been a godsend. He's really been the player who's kind of kept me ticking along. I think 3 clean sheets in the 4 games I've had him assist for DCL as well. Dallas, Son, Lingard, Salah, captain, Rafinha, Antonio, Calvert-Lewin, and Kane. The players I'm worried about here obviously are Godfrey and Calvert-Lewin. Although Everton have had a decent away record of late, and you worry about the over rotation that Pep might do. Although there's 1 week to go for the Champions League final, possibly he might want to give KDB minutes. He might want to give Gundogan as an injury doubt, right? But possibly he might want to give other player minutes, right? Foden could play, Mahrez could have a shout in. Aguero is the one you're concerned about there if you want to punt that. So I know the temptation is that maybe steer clear of that one. But apart from that, I'm quite happy with the team that I have, right? There are a couple of things I can do. If I look at the suggestion I gave, I could triple up on Leeds, going for Bamford for DCL. But that would leave me taking a -4 if I want to replace Godfrey for a better defender. Also, maybe Son and Kane together are a bit making me a bit nervy, right? They just look so poor in the last game. Leicester got a 2-0 win on them in the reverse fixture. They look completely out of sort in that game as well. And looking at how they're doing now with the negative emotion around Kane as well, and it's very eye test feeling, right? I know the stats still favor Kane to get something in. He really loves scoring against Leicester in particular. Maybe you'd consider not doubling up then and just taking out one of them, maybe Son. That's what I'm considering too. But then -4 again, I'm looking at the fact that do I need a -4? I have a good enough team. Can I just go in with a player, just let him take a low point in there and take in just one transfer? Could also be if I replace Godfrey, right? Because again, a clean sheet is something I don't see for Everton, and I do see Godfrey starting, right? The worry for me there, again, Weltman with his injury, Kilman most likely won't start. I then don't want to go in for Everton defender. So that's where I'm at right now, possibly replacing Godfrey and DCL. That would be a -4. Or possibly replacing DCL and Son, which again would be a -4, right? -8, I really don't think I'd be going for. I don't see the need to do it. Have a good balance overall in the squad. Obviously, Mendy clean sheet with Aston Villa looking good is worrying me. But I, again, do not have the luxury to waste a transfer on a keeper, right? And the only other option would be Martinez, who's playing Chelsea. I don't have the temptation of starting Foster in, even if he starts over McCarthy. I do definitely see West Ham getting in a goal, if not from the assets that I own from somewhere else. I don't see a clean sheet there. All right, now let's look at the possible transfers I could possibly make, like I said, and give you guys a better idea of what you should be doing. Right, like I said, if I am taking out DCL as my solitary transfer, right, I think it's very obvious. The only player I can think of over there is Bamford. I was worried a bit about the minutes, which is why I went in for Antonio over him last week. Obviously, Bamford did get a bigger haul. But, he has played just about 57 minutes in the previous 2 games. Solitary point is there. With Moreno fit, playing West Brom, if they end up doing well, either one of Rafinha, Bamford are possible calls for him to start the likes of Hernandez. He wants them to get some minutes before they leave, right? So the worry is going to be there. But if you must make a move and keeping all of that on the side, I would definitely say that, Bamford would be the number 1 pick for me there. Second pick, if not him, if you already own him and you're not favoring Antonio against Southampton, I know a lot of managers are picking out Iheanacho, but again, price not being the issue, I think Iheanacho there would be a good option. Got in the goal against Chelsea. Spurs do not look like they're in the best form, right? Could definitely concede. Vardy been very poor, plus his price point would not risk getting him even as a punt, even though he could do something against against Spurs. Iheanacho would be your second pick if you do not want to go for Antonio, do not fancy the likes of Chris Wood, who would be a very differentially player there against Sheffield United. I know I didn't talk a lot about that fixture there. Sheffield really are looking poor. I mean, I know Wood has been in good form himself, right? Didn't do much in the last 2 games he's played, but again, Leeds, Liverpool, tough games, plus rotation in the back with the likes of Pope missing out. That's kind of undermined their whole structure, I feel a bit, because they rely a lot on Pope in this whole system, right? So I would say if you're not looking at the likes of Chris Wood, definitely for me it would be Bamford, Iheanacho. And if you I would say it would be Bamford, Antonio, Iheanacho, but if you don't fancy Antonio, then Iheanacho one for you there. Again, similar price points, so pricing should not be a worry for you, especially if you're downgrading from DCL. All of these come within the budget. Is Cavani worth a punt? I would say no. I would look at these guys, and I don't even know if Cavani would start, especially if he's in Ole's plans for the final, right? So I would steer clear of United assets over there. Now, if I do take a -4, right, that let's say I'm not too okay with doubling up on Spurs, I have 12. Look, I can double up on Mane and Salah since I don't have Jota anymore. I can go and triple over there. Mane is a bit risky. He seems to always just be on the brink. He's 11.8 on the brink of starting a streak, right? He's got an assist in his last two games, another goal in the game before that. A little worrying, but Palace could be there for the taking. In the both players, Salah and Mane do prefer Palace, right? So there's much to talk about over there. I would consider possibly doubling up on defense on Liverpool midfield rather than defense. Let's say, like I said, that's personally for me. If I take a -4, something I'm considering, right? Would I move up to Bruno? Looking at the fact that people, a lot of people around me, even in the rank, still have Bruno in their team. I could do that, right? But I'm not too confident about Bruno starting. Number one, and I don't have much cover on my bench. Smith Rowe could possibly face less minutes too since he's played the last couple of games for Arsenal. So a lot of ifs and buts there, right? If I move to my defense, I think I could move on Veltman, move on Godfrey to my bench. So I have a playing keeper, I have a bench there. So I'm not worried about any surprise players who don't start. I have a good enough bench of players to come on. Rudiger would seem like my safest bet, right? I could do that. Because if the strong Chelsea side show up, I don't see Watkins and Grealish really going through them. If we must, yes, it's nothing to do with the fact about Rudiger's goal, by the way. Just think Rudiger, again, value for money, and just the fact you're looking at defenders there. I would go in for Rudiger, assuming that if you already have 3 players of Liverpool in there, right? If you don't, I think for me, this would or should be on the safest option to go. If you don't go in for Mane and Salah, then Phillips Trent is a good shout out. Or Robertson, if you have him, Robertson and Phillips would be a good shout out over there. If you can't do it, then Rudiger. That's what I was trying to say. In case I created a confusion, I apologize. That was what I was trying to get to over here. This is what possibly I look at with a -4. If I end up just sticking with TCL, possibly benching him, I could just simply do the same move anyway, get in Phillips over there or get in Rudiger, bench Godfrey, and just roll the dice with the players that I have. Because, like I said, even if it's a 10.7 upgrade, Son, not much room for me there unless I take a -4 and take out Calvert-Lewin, right? So a lot to think about for me over there. But these are the potential moves you could consider. Now, I have the likes of Rafinha, right? If you are happy and sorted with the team you have, which is you have the likes of Salah in there, you have a double up on Mane already. A lot of managers have in the past 2 weeks, especially. You have Bruno/Son, you want to stay with that. Budget players that you should look at, right? If it's Rudiger, Lingard, and a Leeds asset, just looking at the fixture over here, and I would say possibly a Leeds asset. I would say Rafinha over Harrison for me. I would say Rafinha, a better shout out over there. I am worried about the minutes of Rafinha a bit too, but I still say that's the better option to go for. Looking at the potential of goals you could see, West Brom really nothing to play for, right? Meandering around over there. Missing Pereira could possibly change that setup. Not attacking much, Leeds could just break this team down. If you're looking outside of the likes of Lingard, Rafinha, like I said last week, Saint Maximin looked like the guy who's the talisman, right? And he's been that good for them, but always flatters to deceive. I would say Willock at 4.7, especially if you're considering a -4 and you're sorted with your lead slash and you want to just bench DCL. I would say Willock to 4. He was at 4.7. I think he's at 4.8 now, possibly 4.9 by the time we're done with the shoot and the lasers. Yep, it's already 4.9. The last time I checked it, right? Willock could come in for you over there, and that opens up so much if you want to get in double up in defense, or you want to double up in Liverpool midfield, or you want to go in for Aguero in your attack, and you want to take DCL all the way up for that, right? That's possibly how you do it. You downgrade one of your midfielders down to Willock, downgrade one of your defenders, And you'd have probably enough room to take DCL up to Aguero over there. Now, that's possibly the potential players you could look at. Are there any complete punts I would say it's worth making because it's the last game week? Why don't you guys have fun going for a complete punt of an asset over here? I would obviously start off just with Man City. Look, the reason we don't go for Man City assets is just like you said, we've not seen who starts, who won't. So we got Diaz Stone starting the last game, right? But surprise, surprise, with Cancelo's red card, there a lot of things changed. Um, if you must take those risks, right? I wouldn't obviously look at looking at defenders. I would look at anyone, potentially anyone from the midfield, right? So Foden I already mentioned at 6.1. Again, easily fits in your budget range, cheaper than Lingard, more expensive than Rafinha. But yeah, if you're looking to downgrade Son, remove Bruno because you don't know if he's going to start, remove Greenwood even, right? You have Foden as your number one option. Outside of Foden, is it so? Gundogan obviously has an injury risk. Mostly might start still at 5.5, but I would look at Foden over there. What about the likes of Ferran Torres? It's a little tricky for me there at 7.0. Firstly, his price point. Secondly, if he's looking to give Aguero any minutes, I don't know if Ferran Torres starts and even plays the whole game or gets that much game time, right? So I would steer clear away maybe from Ferran Torres. I would definitely look at Foden first, and outside of that, maybe still look at Mahrez. 8.1, right? If you have Son, and like I said, especially for the ones who don't want to keep their Spurs midfield in, definitely looking to get some minutes for him as well. Looks like he might start a strongish side. Mahrez played the last game, got in an assist over there, played the full game, which is why some managers believe potential rotation risk. Torres was taken off early in comparison to make way to shuffle up because they went down 10 men, which is why you would think maybe Torres gets more game time here. I would still go, I think, Foden first, then Torres, Mahrez, I guess I would then equal out. But these are the fun moves I would make, right? Looking to get in on those complete differentials over there. Mahrez ownership itself, right? He's at 6.6 now. Most likely benched by a lot of managers, even in the last week. Foden's ownership has gone up. His price has gone up as well. But still more differentially, just above the pure definition of differential, about 5%, but still compared to most people around you in your rank and maybe in your mini league, right? Those are the players I would look at. Outside of City, if there any other team you want to go completely puntish for, and you do like, so if you have a double up of Leeds, for example, right? You don't want to go Bamford. You're far off in your mini league. You obviously have Moreno at 5.7. Started the last game, did quite well for himself. I think he got in the 2 goals, if I'm not mistaken, or 1 goal and 1 assist. Yeah, he got in a goal and an assist in the last game and 2 goals in the game before that, right? So definitely one to keep an eye out for over there to chase the players in your mini league. And outside of Leeds and City, to have fun, if you want to again go a little experimental. Someone asked me about Firmino. I would definitely not recommend Firmino. That if you want to just have some fun again, like I said, and you want to maybe bank in on United doing well against Wolves, you have Diallo at, I think, 5.7 for United over there. I'll just pull that up for y'all. Diallo at 5.4. Player possibly would get some minutes. Again, this is just to have some fun and completely go punt in the end, right? But apart from that, the players you mentioned earlier is essentially where you'd look at. These are not even like differentials, I would say. This is just a bit of fun. Players highly at risk of possibly not playing or playing less minutes, but if they do play, could potentially turn it up against you and at least give you a good farewell to your season with a high score, right? To quickly cap off this episode, let's talk about captain picks. Captain picks for me, definitely Salah or Mane. If you have them, Salah number 1. There were a little rumors about Salah potentially not starting. There was an injury doubt, not being spotted in training. I don't think so. In that case, I would keep your vice captain armband on Bamford. But apart from that, I think Salah number 1 for me, Mane if you have the number 2, Mane. Outside of those two, Rafinha and or Bamford are my other picks for captaincy. Not too much to discuss, right? Seem like straightforward options. And like I said, if you're chasing in your mini league and you want to catch up, Antonio seems to have a good differential captain this week as well. It was a good one last week as well. Could have been a better captain than all the other ones, right? So Antonio for me again would be a good differential captain over Lingard for sure. Lingard just seems to have dropped a little deeper, not taking as many shots, or the shots taking are quite wild. For me, Antonio definitely the one I would consider over there over Lingard. What about uh, uh, Spurs assets? Because both the defenses, Spurs and Leicester, look quite weak. Like no Johnny Evans too. Spurs and Leicester look shaky on, and Spurs with their defensive calamities, right? I don't know. I still say looking at the likes of Kane, potential to score against Leicester, I feel an Antonio Bamford definitely has still safer options than you just don't know which Spurs will show up. Kane's last game, does he have the motivation to come out and get those goals? You could say potentially yes, or especially if you're talking about Salah, Kane, and the Golden Boot race, right? But just the way Spurs have played with their shoulders dropped down, not looking like they could post a comeback against Villa, they could have lost even worse than they actually did, right? In the game against Leeds where they went 3-1. Just say your better options elsewhere. Plenty of differential options too. So I would steer clear of Spurs. That's what I feel right now. Anyway, thank you so much for joining in. Potentially the last episode of the season. I think it is. I might join you on one tomorrow. I could do a deadline stream. If you guys really want to see that, let me know in comments or on social media, and I'll definitely consider doing that. But those are potentially all my thoughts for this game week. I could do an episode in the coming week as well, just as a review of the season that's gone by. Let's see. Hopefully, that could be a fun episode. Best of luck to all the managers. It's been a crazy, crazy ride. Thank you so much for joining us. To all the ones subscribed to our channel, to everyone in our Football Pundits mini league. I've dropped a bit over there. I don't see myself catching up over there. So hopefully, the ones who are in the top three. Best of luck to you for the ones who do end up winning that one, and to everybody else who's hoping to just have a good laugh on the terrible year that we've had and end the year on a good high. I hope the game week works out for you too. We'll see you in the next season or the next episode. Cheers, guys.